you've been such an exceptional mom. Balancing, I feel like balancing both, spiritual life and, I mean, your own inner spiritual life more than anything, like your own inner connection to Krishna and your own inner connection to Super Soul, and also being a fun, loving, positive mama.
Thank you.
I think not just for me, but I think for many of my friends too. I think they would say
Oh,
the same thing. Yeah.
thank
How have you been able to balance motherhood and spiritual life, devotional life?
you. Okay. Well, usually we look at our spiritual life as separate from what we do daily, but actually our spiritual life is who we are within ourselves. And whether we're, you know, um, a mother or not a mother, or whatever we do, whoever we are, whatever work we have, that's actually not separate from our devotional inspiration from within. We should do everything with that integrity, that as a devotee of the Lord, I'm trying to work with him, work with a spiritual understanding of how I treat people, how I think, and how I act. So I think that there really is no real, it's not like a balancing act of mundane and spiritual. It's actually all spiritual if we choose to understand that and work on understanding that. So I had a wake up call at one point to realize that. Um, I was in Delhi. I was very young, and you were just a baby. Vishy was about 5 years old. You were just 1 year old. I just had Jambu given birth, Jamuna. So um, I had two children in diapers, and there were no diapers in those days in Delhi. We were living in the servant quarters of Delhi. It was actually not a nice place. So the bathroom was a big hole, and the kitchen was outside on the roof, basically, and that's how we lived. It was very difficult struggle in ordinary daily activities, washing pots and washing diapers and all. So I was one morning early. I got up early so I could wash all the diapers so that they would dry by the end of the day, because that was always like you have to catch the sun and all that. So I was in the bathroom washing all these dirty diapers all around me in this big hole in the ground. And I was thinking, oh, it's Mangal Artik time. So I wish I could be at the temple. I wish I could be seeing Radharani's face. She's so beautiful, Radha Parthasarathi in Delhi. And I was thinking I'll meditate on that, and then I'll be there. So I'm singing Samsara Davar, and I'm washing the diapers. And then all of a sudden I just flipped out because I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't really feeling that I was there in the temple looking at Radharani. I'm here in this hole washing diapers. So I just started flipping out. I started yelling, Krishna, why? Why me? How is this happening? I'm supposed to be meditating on you. I wanted to just be a devotee, and now I've got all this around me. And I was crying and yelling and calling to Krishna so loudly. I just looked up and I went, why? And all of a sudden, I swear I saw this like beam of light come down on me in the middle of the bathroom. And and I'm looking up, and I basically kind of heard within myself Krishna saying, this shit is your sadhana. I accept this crap as your sadhana. It's okay. This is your sadhana. I'm here with you. I'm not somewhere else. I'm here with you now. Here's the light. I'm showing you my light. And I'm in, giving me, he's telling me, this is it. This is my Krishna consciousness. And I just felt such a relief after that. And it helped me so much to just, dive into my, to the whole part of motherhood, not, of course, I always had affection and love for the children. That wasn't a question in question. It was the activities that came around that. And the poverty that we were living in was very difficult. But yeah, so I realized that, wait, it's not different. It's not different. Whether you're sweeping the temple, Prabhupada always said, you're sweeping the temple or you're doing pujari work, you're bathing the deity, doesn't matter. So if you're washing the diapers or, whatever you're doing, it can all be Krishna consciousness. So what are we doing when we're sweeping the floor, washing a diaper, washing dirty pots, whatever we're doing? What are we actually doing? We're actually remembering Krishna. We're actually in that I don't want to say bhav, because I'm definitely way far away from that, but in that mood of, this is my offering to you, Lord. This is what I'm doing for you now. In this time, place, and circumstance, I will do whatever I need to for you. And by doing it for you with full love and care and attention, I'm doing it for my children as well. I'm benefiting them. And I love my children. I'm giving them everything that I've got that's good in me, because that's what you want me to do. So it's not really a balance in that sense. It's an acceptance of what is our service, what is our devotion.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. And I love how you said that, like, that it wasn't necessarily that you had to be in Krishna consciousness, but your message from Krishna was like, I'm there with you. Like, I'm there with you. Like, don't worry, have some peace of mind that, like, I'm also here with you. It's not just your effort and having to be in like constant thought of Krishna or constant thought of God or spirituality, but it's like, no, like, you're doing your duty, you're doing your work, and Krishna is there with you. And I think that that's a really beautiful message that you received. Like, no matter what you're doing, he will be there with you.
Thank you. Yes, that's accepting the grace.
Yes.
Accepting being receptacle to the divine grace that we're getting through Prabhupada and through Krishna.
Yeah. And this kind of
living in that grace.
Yes, living in it. Being in it. This goes into the next thing of like how I know you've had like a really deep connection with Super Soul in your heart, and you've had some pretty profound conversations with Super Soul. And if you want to share some of them, I think, because Super Soul is also, it's our intuition. And I feel that as women, sometimes we have a hard time differentiating between what's the mind, what's the outside, what is everyone else expecting of me, the world, society, what is my mind saying, and then what is truly my intuition and my heart and what is Super Soul saying?
Super Soul, yeah. So, well, first I'd like to say, what is Super Soul saying? Yes. Our intuition. We have to have some faith, like you were just saying, as it kind of goes along with what we just said, that the Lord is with us. The divine is with us, and he is showing us a way of how to live and how to be. And he's all good. Prabhupada called Krishna the absolute truth, the summum bonum, which means the all good. So everything that's all good is part of Krishna. And that's in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if anyone needs that proof, that he says, of the light, I am the sun, of, and different things like that. Super Soul is within us, each one of us, and he cares about us. He's all good. Prabhupada said, if we can learn 3 things or teach the children 3 things in life, it's that Krishna is your best friend, and he's the controller of everything and the owner of everything. So your best friend owns and controls everything. And he's your best friend. So he's your well-wisher. He wants to help you. He's your buddy. He's your, what do they call, your buddy. So he's there with us, and he's wishing us all well and all good. I had one little experience before I was actually a devotee. I had chanted a little bit, seeing the devotees. The chanting kind of caught my mind and engaged me in wanting to sing the song, and it felt good. So one day I was in front of the devotees, and they were all chanting and dancing and in the Park Street Station in Boston, Massachusetts. And I was there with a couple of friends, and we were kind of like watching them, and a bunch of other people were watching them. A whole group of people were watching the devotees singing and dancing. And the devotees, they saw me because I was like smiling and going like this and going, Hare Krishna, like I knew it. And they were looking at me like, who's this person? They started going, come to us. And I was thinking, they want me to sing and dance with them. So just like a little kid would do, I was like 16, and I kind of told my friend, hey, let's go and sing with them. They're calling us. She goes, no, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. And people around started looking like, oh, this is crazy. And they're all like, looking angry. And I took a step forward because I wanted to go and sing it. I'm thinking, wow, this looks like fun. They look carefree. So I wanted to go. I took a step, and right away, my ego, my mind, like you said, what we're thinking other people are going to think. I looked around and I saw the crowd, and I thought, oh my God, none of these people are appreciating it. They're all making fun. And why would I go and sing and dance in front of a bunch of people who don't even, they're not enjoying it. It's not making them happy or smile or laugh. They're kind of critical, judgmental. Why would I do that? So I kind of shrunk back. As soon as I was shrinking back, super soul loud and clear in my heart, not in my ears. I wasn't hearing voices, just to clarify that. But in my heart, it was like, this is more important than anything else. Go do it. That's your intuition. That's super soul. That's something deep inside. I've got to do this. This is more important to me than what people think, than what anyone else is thinking. I don't have to please the world. I have to please myself and this voice that is greater than me, this absolute summum bonum, the all good that wants my benefit. So I wasn't sure if they were singing names of God. I kind of thought they were. But I went up and I started singing, and I'm dancing, and I was having a great time. And anyway, the rest is history. I became a devotee pretty much right then. I was already a vegetarian, so I invited the devotees, actually. I went up to one devotee girl and I said, come to my beach. I have a house right by the beach, and we'll all go down the beach and sing and dance. Because I used to go down there and meditate and pray and like this. And she said, oh, well, are there a lot of people there? And I thought, no, that's the beauty of it. I told her that it's only will be us. And she just was very kind. And she said, well, here's an invitation to our temple. You can come and visit our temple also. And so I took the card and I said, oh, I'm a vegetarian. And she was surprised. And anyway, the rest is I went. And anyway, so the holy name caught me, but the philosophy ended up keeping me. Once I understood what the philosophy was, and one of the first things I read in Prabhupada's book was that you can be God's friend. So how cool is that? So that's super soul again. I'm the friend inside that I was always familiar with my life. I believed in God and believed in the saints. And, I believed that there's a higher power that we need to connect with. And that was my ambition in life. And I felt through Prabhupada that this was there, and Super Soul told me that at that time. So anyway, that was one incident. I've had a few here and there, not so many, but a few incidences where, and I'm sure everyone has some intuition, that little voice, that small voice. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that voice inside so deep and soft within your heart is felt. And he says, it says, man, thou art immortal soul. Thee death can never melt. So we kind of intuitively understand I'm eternal. I'm something more than this body, something more than this mind, something more than this intellect. What is who are the thoughts that who's thinking the thoughts? Who's making these thoughts that I'm thinking? So philosophers think like this. And if we can come down to the soul and super soul, we're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is like an easy answer, but just like how it felt like when you were speaking, it was like there was this instant pull and direct like understanding that this is what you need to do. It was like very clear. And sometimes the intuition isn't so clear. And if you
Very true.
like how to kind of differentiate or how to understand, like how to begin to like listen to that intuition more, listen to super soul more in your
I
heart.
think I mean, I don't know if this is a full answer, but it's something that I think helps me when I'm not sure. Then I think, oh Lord, I'm feeling that I'm being driven into this direction. And if it is you driving me, then let it be.
Mhm.
I want to help me to keep flowing towards it. If it's not, then give me some intelligence that will awaken my intelligence to say, oh, I shouldn't necessarily go that direction. I can do something else. Or, so there's a prayer that Prabhupada taught us when, like, even when he was ill. And he said, you pray to Krishna that, oh my Lord, if you so desire it, then please let Prabhupada stay longer with us. So if you might desire something so much, or like you said, even just feel like I'm being driven into this mood or this life, then we say, my dear Lord, I'm not sure. So whatever you want, if you so desire it, then let it be
Mhm.
or not.
Mhm.
And let me understand, please give me the intelligence to understand why not, if it's something that I would like, because, sometimes we don't get, Prabhupada said to me, when I asked him, he was talking about karma in his room in Delhi, and he was saying a devotee doesn't. If you become a devotee, no more karma, no more happiness, no more distress. It's all Krishna. It's all Krishna. So I kind of raised my hand and said, Prabhupada, we're trying to be devotees, but sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're distressed. So what is that? Is it still some karma? Or I couldn't, and he said, no, it's all Krishna. It's all, every time you feel happy, that is coming from Krishna. And I thought, yeah, I get that, because I'm in kirtan, dancing, jumping up and down. I'm in ecstasy. Nothing matters. So I can understand when and so I just blurted out, but the distress too, Prabhupada. And I felt like I was talking for the world, because we are all having some distress, more or less, in some capacity, this much or this much. So I blurted out, and the distress too, Prabhupada. And he said, yes, it's all Krishna. It's all Krishna. He said, sometimes, he said, the chatak bird, and he went like this, and I have to say this story, which I know you know. But the chatak bird only takes water from the clouds. He never goes to the ponds and eats this way. He only drinks from the clouds. So he's always praying to the clouds, where is rain? Where is rain? Prabhupada went like this. And he goes, but sometimes he doesn't get rain. Sometimes he gets thunderbolt. And he went like this right in my face. And everyone laughed. So he did it again. Yes, sometimes he gets thunderbolt. And so I call it thunderbolt mercy, because it's still coming from Krishna. That's the point. And so sometimes he's teaching us a lesson. Sometimes we got to just go through something and learn. And then once we get it, the karma stops. Once we get the lesson, that particular karma will totally stop. I mean, it's Krishna karma. I call it Krishna karma. Because once you surrender to Krishna, once you even try to surrender to Krishna, even this much, Krishna starts taking over your happiness and distress, your life. He starts taking over, and he does talk to us inside. So being still, listening, keeping ourselves clear of ego, clear of control, wanting to control everything. We're not the controllers. We let Krishna control. He's our best friend. He knows what he's doing. He's going to do what's best for us ultimately. So that kind of, I
Yeah.
hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that helps a lot. And also, like, you touched upon having that resilience and that inner strength too, to be able to like, okay, trusting this, God is my best friend. The thunderbolts are coming to me.
Yeah.
The it's a challenging situation. Ultimately, I know this is for my own good and my own evolvement in this life, and having resilience and relying on super soul in our heart, knowing that it's really for our best interest, because Krishna is our dear friend.
Yes, and asking him, or Radharani, her, asking the Supreme Lords, help us, help me. I'm bewildered. I wanted, just like Arjun, he said, I'm bewildered and I don't know what to do, Krishna. So we can ask. It's a, they accept that. It's not a moment of weakness in a way, because you're still depending on the Supreme Lord. So it's a good thing. Just like a child, if they don't know something, they ask the mother or father, how do I do this? Can you help me with this? Can you give me a hand? I can't reach right now. Can you help me reach where I'm supposed to be? I want to do what you want.
Yeah. How did you kind of encourage your children, your children, to want to keep having Krishna as our best friend and having that relationship with Krishna?
I think that the most important thing for me is to try to have made it fun for you. Of course, I was having fun too. So I was a little kind of figured if I have to do this motherhood thing, I might as well have fun with it.
Yeah, we became your entertainment.
Yes. So I encouraged you all to be on stages and dance and sing and act and be silly sometime, and make people laugh and like have fun. So dressing up all the time, going to the temple, let's dress up. You want to be a gopi, you want to, whatever, and dress up all the time. And I try to, I think, engage your friends too, as you were little, to engage them in dramas and things like that. So I had fun, and I think it was fun for them too, and it entertained other devotees. So I hope that was something that gave you a taste, that was fun things to do for Krishna, using your talents for Krishna in different ways and your abilities. And yeah, I hope that it was to make it fun. Prabhupada had mentioned that even before I had children. I remember thinking sometime in the Gurukula, they'd be so strict with the little children. And I used to think, why is it that people who don't even like children are taking care of them, are trying to teach them? It didn't make sense to me. I was like, they need love and kindness and have fun. And Prabhupada said, make it fun for them. That make the austerity of being Krishna conscious fun. And what is the austerity of being Krishna conscious? That you eat prasadam, that you dance in kirtan. I mean, that's the austerities of Krishna consciousness. It is already fun, really. I mean, when we think about it, and some teachers took it, and I remember hearing actually people speaking like this to the children and to others, that, if they're not having fun, then they're in Maya. No, it's up to the adults. It's up to the teachers, the parents and the teachers and the adults and the leaders to make it exciting and fun. One time, Amarendra here in Gainesville, Amarendra, he's a very determined devotee, and he himself is a very powerful person. He forces himself to do things right, and he's a real Kshatriya kind of guy. So he said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how can we make the students Krishna conscious here in Gainesville? And Prabhupada said, you cannot make them. He said, you encourage them, inspire them the best you can. But that is between them and Krishna, whether they take it up. But as it is between you and Krishna, how you encourage and inspire them. So if we want to beat people over the head, then that's just our ego. That's not really, helping people become Krishna. We have to be attractive. We have to be happy people. We have to be smiling and happy in our own life. And who wants to follow someone who's do it this way and all judgmental, and you did it that way, you did it wrong, you got to do it this? That's not attractive. And that's the problem with many religions nowadays. People are running away from religion. They don't want to hear it because it's being forced down their throat. And people are not attracted to that. Intelligent people are not attracted to that. The minions, the sheep, the followers who don't have a life, a brain to think for themselves, they'll go for it, and they'll listen to people who are false prophets or whatever, and follow anything. But people who are intelligent go, that's not, if Christ was all good, he saved the sheep in the forest. and then you're gonna beat your kids. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, or like that. So we have to see what is saintly. Saintly people are always, what are the 26 qualities of a devotee? Saintly people are always kind to everyone, friends to everyone, merciful, compassionate, helpful. These are the qualities of a devotee. If you read them, there's many of them that just deal with how you treat other people, and it never says force them.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So anyway, that's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I feel like I really gained from, from you and you being my mom is the balance in just not the balance, I guess the not being confused. I don't feel confused about my place in spiritual life and my place in the world and kind of the harmony of both. Like I never felt confused. Like, am I really a devotee? Am I not a devotee? I don't agree with these things, but does that mean that means I'm not a part of the society or I'm not a part of the community? Like I never had that confusion or that conflict in my life. And I really feel like that came from you because there are many things that, to be honest, that I don't fully agree with or I feel a little like a little vulnerable saying this, because I know many people will be listening, but I feel like many things are just, they're not okay. And it's not
Yeah.
okay. Some of
Well,
the stuff that
yes,
has happened, but
yes.
I think what I got from you is like, I don't feel confused about my place in that. I don't feel like it needs to be fully complete or whole for me to feel like I still believe in it. I still respect it. I still believe this is a process. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but I really
I
feel like
would
I got
say
that
yes.
from you. Like that.
I think I understand it because I feel the same way. There are certain things, of course, that we see in the institute that may not be the best, the best, the highest Krishna consciousness being expressed.
Mhm.
And so we see that that's a sign of intelligence. And what do? We try to change it. Change it, at least in my own life. I'll change it. I'll behave a certain way. Even if another leader or person isn't, I will behave a certain way. And I won't be bothered by that. I would wish for Prabhupada's movement to increase and go forward. That's my wish. But we see certain things that are not congruent with that are stifling it, like the treatment of women and children and in the past and in the present even sometimes. So we see that. And so we have to behave the best we can and do the best we can to promote a healthy Krishna conscious environment, not a toxic,
Yeah.
religious
Yeah.
environment, institutional religious environment. That there's a difference. And
Yeah.
so I'm glad that you're saying that you feel like what your place is, basically. Like you can disagree with certain things and still feel like you are under Krishna's umbrella, under the Lord's protection and the universal understanding of, Radharani and Krishna's protection. And that's Prabhupada's protection. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm very honored and proud of you for that, because what did Prabhupada want? He didn't want us to be sheep and just believe anything and follow anything. He wanted us to use our intelligence and help spread the love of Krishna, not the rules, the love of Krishna.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if we can do that and help others. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that story that you said about, how can we make, Prabhupada said, the devotee said, how can we make
yeah,
these students devotees?
people.
I said, no, like you have to inspire. And I feel like that's a very I don't want to like, title it as like masculine, feminine way of like looking at spirituality, but just an approach, a softer underlining current approach that seems to feel a little bit more feminine. And then the masculine, how can we make, how can we, you know, force like
Yes.
it's like
So
it's spirituality. And my next question, I mean, you can finish
okay.
what you're saying, but my next question is just like, how has being a mother helped your Krishna consciousness? How has that helped your spiritual life and connection to super soul?
Actually, before I was a mother, I was, a preacher and leader kind of in Krishna consciousness movement, leading Sankirtan parties of women and things like that. And I enjoyed that very much. It was my propensity to do those things. I was very grateful to be able to do those things at the time. And when I took care of Pishima, Prabhupada's sister, I felt my heart changing, because in those days, everything was very, like you mentioned, you didn't want to say masculine or feminine, but it is. The softness is Radharani. She's the softness. She brings in the softness of everything for Krishna, for bhakti, for Krishna consciousness. So it is soft and loving and kind. Doesn't mean it's just feminine. Men need that and women need that. And then there's the intellect. Men need that and women need that. And we both have it. It's just comes out in different ways and different understandings. But anyway, when I was with Pishima, in those days, we used to think we were all very austere. I mean, we all followed all the very intense austerities that the men did, the women did, those things everyone shared. So a lot of times, and the preaching was always meant kind of, Prabhupada even said, I am preaching towards in the men's point of view, because that's how the previous acharyas preached. So our men in ISKCON took that, and they also preached from the men's point of view. And because they were young brahmacharis and, trying to be celibate, they were freaking out. So they really pushed that part a lot. No blaming. It's just the explanation of partially why this had happened. And the woman being usually, a little softer and kind, we kind of like, took it, thinking, oh, well, it's just that brahmachari, it's just that. And then all of a sudden it became everyone everywhere. And it was a whole mentality that was wrongly instituted in a paradigm that was wrongly instituted in the mission of Prabhupada's mission. Prabhupada created a society for Krishna consciousness, not an institution, but we turned it into an institution. That's another topic. But anyway, we're talking about mothers and motherhood. So when I was with Pishima, I saw, we thought we had to be very manly, to be powerful, good devotees, austere, strong, heavy on each other. Even the women were heavy on each other. Prabhu, that's your karma, blah, blah, blah. I mean, not everyone was that heavy, but to some degree. And even I have to say. So when I was taking care of Pishima, I remember thinking, she's a Vaishnavi. She's a woman. And she's a pure devotee, obviously. And she had so much love for Prabhupada. And she knew the philosophy inside and out, because she would speak to Bengali people and someone would translate. And I understood. She got it. She understands. Like, she's not just an old, kind woman. She's a brilliant, amazing, intelligent preacher. And she wanted, her desire was to come to America and preach. She wanted to follow Prabhupada. She wanted to do this. So anyway, yes. So being with her helped me feel like, oh my God, I can be soft and feminine and a woman and still be a Vaishnavi, still be a good devotee, still be an advanced devotee, or, whatever advancement is, your humility and everything. But, I can become that. I can maybe aspire for that and still stay feminine. So I don't think I thought of this so like literally, oh, now I'm going to start becoming more feminine. It just started happening. From her association, my life changed. I became very different. And I remember I came after she passed away, and I was with her, and I got a lot of blessings from her. I was sitting by a little stream one day near a temple, and I was just praying and meditating. I was thinking, I'm changing. I'm softening. Like, inside my heart is softening. But is this a good thing or a bad thing? There's my question. Super Soul was softening my heart. But I was wondering, is this good or bad? Because I'm supposed to be strong and I have to be austere. And, never get married again and all these things. But I was softening as a woman. Anyway, all I can say is it was her association, and it was for good. And she used to come up to me and see my white sari, and she would go like this to it, pull it, and go, why? Like, why? What is this? Why are you wearing this white with your haircut like an old widow in Bengali? I was like 20 something, 23. And I said, oh, Pishima, Amar Swami sannyasi, my husband is sannyasi. It's okay. It's okay. She would go like this and walk away. She did this 4 or 5 times. I mean, she did this often to me, not just, and I kept thinking, oh, something's happening. Like it was like a little electric shock. Anyway, I realized that being feminine is not a un-Krishna conscious thing to be.
We have to say it.
Yeah. It's not Maya. It's we can use all of these things, all of these qualities. Krishna says he's the feminine qualities of womanhood, which is fine speech and other things, and intelligence. So we use these qualities to help others. So that's motherhood. When a mother gives her best to her children. And I remember thinking, well, in ISKCON, they kind of squashed me a little bit about being a leader. You can't really be a leader unless you're out there making money with a bunch of girls. And then, but otherwise you can't be a leader in any other capacity. So I was like, all right, I have this knowledge that Prabhupada gave me. It's just bursting out of me. I want to do something with it. So I ended up getting married and having 3 children. And I feel like I gave you all of that, like all that bursting out energy. I gave it to you all. I tried to, teach, speak, preach, a little bit of fun in between, and, whatever. And I think you guys all got it, because I am so proud of all 3 of you for all the things you do and all the beauty you bring to the world for others. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that another thing that you gave, like talking about masculine, feminine, and just to touch upon that, like both are valuable. And I think that something you did give is like the feminine is like the bhakti, the spontaneity, the service, the love, the devotion. And then the masculine is the discipline within that, and the self-discipline, like not the outward discipline, like everyone should be doing this, but the internal discipline, the spiritual discipline. And I think that's where the masculine spirituality, like if we want to talk about spirituality as masculine, feminine, I think that's where the harmony of that can
absolutely
be united within us.
Yes.
And I feel like you gave that in such a like fun way. I think fun is like the undercurrent of like both of those things.
Someone interviewed Vishy once and said, how is it that you're still a devotee, Krishna conscious in your age now, as you grew up? And he said, well, my mother made it fun. And then later on, they interviewed me and they said, how did you bring up your kids? And I didn't know that they had interviewed him and what he said. And I said, well, I just try to make it fun. And then that kind of the video came together, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
This is fun. This is fun.
Yeah, it is. Yes, God created man and woman to complement each other, not fight with each other, to complement, not try to conquer over and control each other, but to complement and work together in mutual understanding. Yeah.
Maybe we can just close with like, what do you feel that the essence of what Prabhupada gave for woman? What was the essence for woman?
Okay. I would say that Prabhupada treated everyone equally. And in many places in his books, he's saying, I have my boys and girls, and they're all engaged in devotional service. And what is engaging in devotional service? That you give your best to Krishna. That's devotion. Whatever I have the best. That means I have a gift from Krishna. You have a gift from Krishna. Every single living entity has a gift, a special gift from the Lord. that they have in their heart, that if they cultivate that gift and share it with others, that is the essence of bhakti yoga and Krishna consciousness. And so that should never be stifled or stopped or put down
Or
because
doubted,
of
doubt, like doubted, like self-doubted.
doubted. And that should never be doubted in your own. Yes, don't doubt your gift, your God-given gift. Everyone's got something. You know, even if it's just serving others, helping others, being a helper. Ananga Manjari means the little helper. She's the little helper gopi. She doesn't take a big stance. Of course, she is Balaram's consort also, but she doesn't take a big stance. She's the helper. So when I heard my name, Ananga, I thought, oh, yes, I'm a helper. I had an older brother and sister, and I always just wanted to be around and help them and do what they were doing. So that's my nature, and to help. So that is the nature of, I was lucky because I had a little bit of practice early on, but you know, that is the nature of what Krishna consciousness is, that whoever, whatever, if you're a leader, be a leader. If you're a helper, be a helper. If you're, you know, an artist, be an artist. If you're a scientist, be a scientist. And Prabhupada always preached like that. And then we said, well, you know, but the woman can't. Everyone is spirit soul. We're spirit soul. We're not these bodies, but the women are the bodies. So they can't, because they have, and that's coming down on the level of staying, that comes down off the level of dharma and spirituality and eternal occupation, which is our eternal dharma. And it brings us down to the mundane varnas. You know, the varna ashram, you know, we're supposed to be not, it doesn't matter what you are. You're supposed to be able to serve Krishna in your highest capacity, and give him the best of us, give the best of us. So I have a letter from Prabhupada, I think, that proves that you're asking what is his essential message for a woman. And when, after Hridayananda had taken sannyas, I wrote to Prabhupada and I asked him, Prabhupada, because in those days I was giving classes, we were reading together, we were all sharing everything together. The men would cook, the women would cook. We would all share things, you know. Whoever was best at something, they would be doing that. So I got to give a lot of classes, lead kirtan, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote to Prabhupada and I said, Prabhupada, they're trying, you know, now they're saying women can't do this. So I want to ask you, I'm a 18-year-old girl whose husband just took sannyas. Is it okay if I give classes in your temple and lead kirtan sometime? Is it okay if I do these things? I want to, my ambition, I wrote to him, is to study your books and be able to, you know, express, you know, preach your mission and give classes. So is that okay? I'm an 18-year-old girl whose husband just took sannyas. I have no man in front of me, and I'm only 18. I'm a teenager, and I want to study your books and give this knowledge out to others and give classes in your temples. I was very specific because that's what they were saying we can't do anymore, or lead kirtan anywhere. And so I wrote that to Prabhupada, and he wrote back, and I have the letter. So Sharma Mohini knows, she has a letter too. I shared it with her. And Prabhupada wrote some things, and then he said, yes, read my books, and of course chant the holy name properly. He was stressing that. And then he said, and you will become a great preacher for our society. You will have great success, and you will, he said great 3 times. He's telling this 19-year-old girl who has no man in front of her. He didn't say, oh, take shelter of some householder man, or you have to go through this or go through that. He was saying, be great, be a great preacher. You will have great success, and you will, you know, I forget the words, but he said great 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So he was blessing that. Of course, I didn't do it. I wasn't strong enough to create my own, you know, my own mission there, you know. It was like, you know, but anyway, so, but the idea is that he's telling everyone, every young girl, young, old, doesn't matter, use the best that you've got for Krishna, go out there and do it and spread his mission. Prabhupada never, for mundane cultural sake, he never stifled his mission for a mundane cultural sake. He threw it out there. Everyone just go out there. Yeah. So anyway,
soul.
that's what
Every soul.
every soul,
Yeah.
every soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even children, everyone he wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. And I think that you do it. You do it every day. I think you show up in your everyday life with that greatness.
It's Prabhupada's greatness.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,